Welcome to Module 5. In this module, you will start or continue to work on adding teaching materials to your course. I invite you to consider these questions. What type of learning environment do you want to create? How can you leverage digital tools for effective learning? And how will you teach your students to be self-directed and self-monitored? When technology tools are effectively integrated into the curriculum, they can extend learning in powerful ways. These tools can provide access to up-to-date primary source materials, methods of collecting and recording data, ways to collaborate with students, teachers, and experts around the world, opportunities for expressing understanding via multimedia, learning that is relevant, and assessment that is authentic. It's also training for your learners in publishing and presenting their new knowledge. All of these features are enhanced when you use the Universal Design for Learning. By employing a technology integration framework such as SAMR, TPACK, or Triple E, you will develop learning materials that use the UDL principles. Select the hyperlink on the slide to review the principles. You will also note that in Blackboard I include a link to this presentation, and in the notes section of the presentation you will find all of the URLs for resources listed. In past modules, you identified outcomes, assessment, and instructional strategies for students to achieve success. What are the readings, tools, and interactions students need to successfully complete assessments? How will you populate your Blackboard site with content and activities? Learning materials may be delivered through folders with weekly course materials, assignments, and assessments with an overview explaining the learning outcomes, or you may want a web-like page with all elements embedded throughout. If order matters, include a numbering convention to make clear which items must be completed first. Look over the course view, which is the image on the slide, to learn how to navigate your Blackboard site. The image is a guide for all of the features you want to use on Blackboard, such as A, the left menu, B, the course tools. You will also use student preview at the top, which is C. D is making sure your editing is on. And then the other features are the functions that are available in Blackboard. And these functions allow you to use best practices. Use this list as a guide as you proceed through Module 5. And I'm not going to read the slide to you, so if you need to, pause the slideshow video at any point to give yourself a chance to read slides. Consider contacting your textbook publisher for resources developed specifically for Blackboard course use. Most textbook publishers have materials such as PDFs, slides, quizzes, discussion forum starters available in the Blackboard format. Ask your publisher representative if they have Blackboard content available for your specific textbook. Your textbook publisher representative should be able to guide you on the steps to upload that content into your Blackboard course site, or contact the Teaching and Technology Center for assistance. If you know of a colleague who has an extensive Blackboard course site developed for a course you are currently teaching, Consider asking your colleague for permission to have the TTC, or Teaching and Technology Center, copy their site and all of the materials into yours. They can perform the copy without carrying over any student work. If your colleague agrees to share their intellectual property, email the TTC with a copy to your colleague. Let the TTC know which Blackboard course site you need copied and that you have permission. Consider the F pattern as you develop your content. Creating course teaching materials for a fully or blended online course is unlike a face-to-face class meeting. A notable difference is reading a hard copy of the text and text outline are not the same. We read text content in an F formation rather than traditionally starting in the upper left corner across to right and so on. Research on eye tracking tells us that online readers look at images, graphics, audio, video, etc. first for content, then scan the text. We read in spurts in the F formation. And if you want to learn more, select the text F formation for a link to a helpful website. Designing your site for scanning ensures students will access all course content, add visuals and audio to enhance instruction, use tables to control text and images, add images, videos, and include more white space to the right of your page, using up 50% less text than normal. Watch this screencast, which is about 5 minutes, to learn how to use the table function to control where your content lands on the page. Also, Joanne reviews the UDL principles used to create this course. And on the slide, you can select the screencast or automatically just start the screencast. And when you're done with that, you'll go to the next slide. How can you leverage digital teaching materials for effective learning? Digital tools promote critical and higher order thinking skills such as decision making, creating arguments from evidence, inference, problem identification, and the generation of possible solutions. Learners' attention necessary for effective learning. And on the next slide, you'll learn more about that. And also digital tools allow for a cognitive extension, such as using virtual reality, spreadsheets, or 3D models. Learners' attention is necessary for effective learning. How will you capture and hold their attention? And this is a video if you'd like to stop and watch. I invite you to do that as well. And oops, it's going to start. So I'm going to move on. I will allow you to just stop and progress through this at your own pace. So next I want to talk about the 3 major technology integration frameworks used by educators. The 3 frameworks are TPACK, SAMR, and the EEE framework. And I'm going to explain each in detail. We'll look at an overview. And what you want to keep in mind is which of these are you going to use. You probably won't use all 3. You'll probably select one that works best for you. TPACK. This framework illustrates how three knowledge areas overlap in support of teaching and learning. The center of the diagram, otherwise known as TPAC, represents a full understanding of how to teach with technology. The point of TPAC is to understand how to use technology to teach concepts in ways that enhance learning. What do you know about technology as it relates to your content area? How does technology relate to your pedagogy or way of teaching? Your answers will indicate how technology can effectively support instruction. If you are new to using technologies within your teaching practice, it's beneficial to consider learning and implement one or two tools at a time, as well as understanding how they support content and pedagogy, which you will do in this module. For example, you deliver content in Blackboard, which is your technology knowledge, and I assume everybody here has a solid knowledge of the content you're teaching or content knowledge. And you still might subject your students to an entire online course of text-based PDFs showing a need for growth in pedagogical knowledge. Well, this is an adequate display of both content and technical knowledge. You could argue that it is not enhancing the learning experience. However, if you recognize how your content could be presented in more interactive and enhancing digital mediums such as video, class discussion, games, and you knew how to make that happen via Blackboard, then you just leveled up to TPAC. If TPAC seems too complex or doesn't speak to you, look at SAMR. It's more linear. The letters SAMR stand for substitution, augmentation, modification, and redefinition. The SAMR model was created to share a common language for using technology for learning. Substitution might include a student using Keynote, PowerPoint, Prezi slides, or a similar program to present information about an article to the class. What do you gain by replacing traditional tools with technology? That would be the question you would ask here. Augmentation might include interactive links or a video clip, and the question you will ask at the augmentation level is, how does technology increase or augment a student's productivity and potential in some way? Modification means you are moving from enhancement to transformation. Instead of replacing, you're actually changing the design of the lesson and its learning outcome. At modification, you ask, how does the technology alter the task? Redefinition is creating a new task where you're asking, how does the teaching tools allow you to redefine a traditional task in a way that would not be possible without the technology, creating a novel experience? To learn more about the differences between TPAC and SAMR, here is a 2018 3-minute video from Schoology for you to view. The last model is the Triple E framework. The Triple E framework was developed from research at the University of Michigan by Liz Kolb. And to learn more, you will want to watch her video, which is available on YouTube and linked on the slide. This image shows the questions you ask about engagement, enhancement, and extension. And each box contains 3 questions for you to ask about any learning material, digital learning material you would want to include in your course. Even though this was developed primarily for K-12 educators, it is still very applicable to our teaching at the university level. So, hopefully you're starting to think about how to construct your Blackboard site to include digital learning materials that increase your effectiveness and student learning outcomes. There are optional folders on Blackboard that have specific links for you to explore as you start thinking about different types of learning materials. On the slide are listed some. There's one link to Kathy Schrock's Blooming Apps website. Kathy Schrock has a plethora of websites that are extremely helpful on many topics. Here are 3 digital tool areas that help promote communication, if that's what you're interested in doing in your course, plus a video on how to create a webinar that doesn't suck. Here are tools that help promote collaboration. Personally, I use the group function in Blackboard as my primary way of getting my students to collaborate in the online courses and in the Blackboard website. Here are tools that help to promote creativity. So, your assignment for Module 5 is a digital tool evaluation. I hope that this presentation invites you to explore and evaluate digital tools. You are ready to share your ideas with colleagues, and hopefully these tools will be a part of the learning activities. So if you don't know where to start, I listed 3 ideas on the slide. I included a tool that you can use for comparison. Then you'll write a summary of the comparison rather than posting. If you want to post your comparison, you can, but there should be a summary that people can read through. And then the hope is that we'll have a discussion and we'll learn from each other about new ways to engage our students and increase our effectiveness. If you have any questions at all, please ask, and I hope you have enjoyed this presentation.